She never admits it, but she senses it. She knows when you've sacrificed your essence for her attention, when your life revolves around her instead of your purpose. The instant she perceives this, respect evaporates and desire dwindles. Transform from the man she admired into the one she tolerates. This is the downfall for most men. They abandon their principles, their mission, their very identity, all to keep her near. They label it love, convince themselves it's devotion, but it's not love, it's capitulation. And a true Stoic never surrenders himself. If you want to understand the distinction between men who command respect, are desired, and remain unshaken, and those who are exploited, discarded, and forgotten, then pay attention. About to reveal 10 behaviors a genuine Stoic avoids with women. Once you grasp these, your perspective on relationships will fundamentally change. Don't chase her as if your happiness depends on Ida. A real Stoic would never chase a woman as if his happiness were contingent upon her. The moment you do, you've already relinquished the very thing a Stoic values above all else: your sovereignty. Look around today. Many men have been conditioned to see women as the ultimate prize, to believe their worth is only validated by a romantic partner. They compete. They overextend, they rearrange their schedules, principles, and entire lives just for a chance at her attention. When they get it, they call it love. But let's be honest, it's not love. It's addiction, and addiction is a form of slavery. Stoicism teaches us that happiness isn't found in people, possessions, or external outcomes. It resides in our virtue and self-mastery. When you pursue a woman with desperation, you're signaling to yourself and to her, "You are my source of happiness. You are my anchor. You are my reason to feel alive." But what happens when that source is gone? You collapse. This is why chasing is so perilous. It makes your emotional state reliant on someone else's behavior, someone who owes you nothing. You hand over your power and hope she handles it carefully. The Stoic acts in opposition. He doesn't reject women or relationships, but he refuses to shackle his happiness to them. He views love as an enhancement to his life, not its fundamental basis. Men chase for one reason: they believe it works. They think if they buy enough gifts, send enough messages, and restructure enough of their lives, she will eventually reward them with affection. Sometimes she does. But here's the harsh truth. She doesn't respect the man who sacrifices himself for her approval. She uses him. She tolerates him. She might even enjoy his presence, but she doesn't crave him. Craving stems from polarity, from the tension between two sovereign individuals who freely choose each other, not from one man begging for crumbs while she determines his worth. If you are truly Stoic, you completely reverse this dynamic. You don't chase, you attract. You don't beg, you build. You don't make her your source of joy. You make yourself unshakable, so your joy radiates with or without her. And that kind of energy draws women to you, because when a man doesn't need her, when he stands firm in his identity, she experiences something most women rarely feel from men: safety. Not safety from physical harm, but emotional grounding. She knows she can't control you, that you won't lose yourself in her. This paradoxically makes her desire you more. Here's a reality most men shy away from. If you're chasing a woman, not out of love, but out of fear of losing her, fear of loneliness, fear of inadequacy, fear of not being wanted, and fear-driven actions invariably lead to misery. The Stoic declares, "I want her, but I do not need her. I will open my hand, not clench my fist. If she stays, good. If she leaves, also good." That's strength. That's freedom. If you constantly find yourself initiating contact, planning everything, trying to win her back after she pulls away, stop. Ask yourself, would I still respect myself if I saw myself from an outside perspective? Am I acting like a man or a boy begging for love? Then redirect your focus. Develop yourself, your health, your mind, your purpose. Broaden your world with friends, passions, and pursuits that don't revolve around her. Learn to walk away, not as a tactic, but as a lifestyle. Because when you cease chasing, you send a powerful message. My happiness is my own. You can share in it, but you will never possess it. The day you stop chasing women as if your happiness depends on them is the day you become the man they can't stop thinking about. Not because you played games or manipulated them, but because you finally became someone truly unshakable. And that's what a real Stoic does. -2. Don't lose yourself in her emotions. If you are truly Stoic, you will never lose yourself in a woman's emotions. Yet this is where most men falter. They enter a relationship believing they are steady, believing they are unshakable. But as soon as she laughs, they feel on top of the world, and as soon as she cries, they crumble into pieces. They let her moods dictate their emotional compass. Her validation fuel their actions, and her attention serve as their oxygen. They don't even realize they've surrendered their emotional autonomy until it's too late. By then, they are no longer a man. They are an emotional echo, reflecting whatever she projects. It happens gradually, subtly. Initially, it feels good, even intoxicating. You rationalize, I care about her. I want to support her. This is what a good partner does. But the line between care and codependence quickly blurs. Before you know it, you're not just supporting her, you're living inside her emotional storms, allowing them to dictate your every move. She's upset, so you're upset. She's distant, so you spiral. She's affectionate, and suddenly you feel alive again. It's an emotional roller coaster where she controls the ride. And you're strapped in like a passenger who forgot he could disembark. But Stoicism was never about being a passenger. A Stoic is the man who masters his inner world regardless of external chaos. He can love a woman deeply, passionately, yet remain unaffected by her shifting tides. He doesn't dismiss her feelings, but he doesn't drown in them either. Because the moment you let her emotional state govern yours, you've lost the only thing a Stoic truly controls: himself. Make no mistake, women sense when you've relinquished that control. They can perceive when you're living for their moods instead of your own principles. At first, she might enjoy it. She might even find comfort in knowing she can influence you so easily. But deep down, she will lose respect for you. Because a man who loses himself in her emotions is no longer her partner. He's her puppet. If you want to witness this dynamic in action, observe men who spend their lives appeasing. They are the ones who apologize for things they didn't do just to maintain peace. They are the ones who tolerate disrespect because they fear escalating conflict. They are the ones who abandon their own goals because her temporary happiness feels more pressing than their long-term growth. These men believe they are being good partners, but in reality, they are abandoning themselves in the name of love. A Stoic never does this. He can sit with her in her pain, can support her through her storms, but he never absorbs them as his own. He stands firm, unshaken, because his identity does not shift with her moods. He doesn't rise and fall based on her affection or approval. He remains a steady mountain, not a balloon tossed by every emotional gust of wind. And here's the paradox. When you stop losing yourself in her emotions, she will actually feel safer with you. Because deep down, women don't want to bear the weight of your emotional state on top of their own. They want to feel that when their world is chaotic. Yours remains solid. They want to know they can lean on you, not collapse into you and watch. You crumble under the weight. If you lose yourself in her emotions, you've already lost the relationship. You've made her feelings the deity you serve. And no woman can truly love a man who has abandoned himself. But if you remain grounded, if you can love her fully without becoming her emotional shadow, then you've earned something far greater than her fleeting affection. You've earned her respect, and respect is the cornerstone of any genuine connection. -3. Don't compete for her attention like a boy among boys if you are truly Stoic. You will never find yourself competing for a woman's attention like some desperate boy among boys. Yet, this is where so many men fail. They transform romance into a competition. They view other men as rivals, not out of weakness, but because their entire sense of worth is tied to whether she acknowledges them. They post pictures to elicit jealousy, dress a certain way to impress her, and adopt inauthentic roles. all because they believe that if they try hard enough, she will choose them over the rest. But a Stoic doesn't compete for a woman's attention. He doesn't need to. He understands that dignity is forfeited the moment you reduce yourself to a performer in someone else's theater. A man who competes for her gaze has already placed himself beneath her as if she were a queen, distributing scraps of validation to the most groveling suitor. That is not love. That is servitude. Observe men in any social setting. When a beautiful woman enters, they change. They become louder, wittier, more animated. They compete to be noticed. They are no longer men. They are peacocks with plastic feathers, hoping she will look their way. The issue: women might enjoy the attention, but they rarely respect the men who offer it so freely, because she perceives it for what it is: desperation. And desperation is the antithesis of attraction. Stoicism teaches us that external approval, particularly from other